My dear brothers and sisters, welcome to today's reflection. Today we celebrate the 26th Sunday in Ordinary Time, Year C. The first reading is from the book of the prophet Amos, chapter 6, verse 1a, verse 4 to 7. The second reading is from St. Paul's first letter to Timothy, chapter 6, verse 11 to 16. And the Gospel is according to St. Luke, chapter 16, verse 19 to 31. My dear brothers and sisters, Jesus is telling us to see the needy around us. Today in the Gospel, we hear the parable of the rich man and Lazarus. Jesus tells this parable to caution us against the sin of omission. However, in the final judgment, the question will be on how we have responded to the commandment of love. As such, we are invited to bear more fruits of love, fruits of mercy, fruits of generosity and kindness towards our brothers and sisters who are in need. As Christians, my dear brothers and sisters, we have to reject all sorts of immorality and injustices in our societies today, as Prophet Amos warns us in the first reading. But in a more positive way, St. Paul, in his first letter to Timothy, is inviting us as God's children to pursue righteousness, love, faith, devotion, patience, and gentleness in order to win eternal salvation. In today's Gospel, my dear brothers and sisters, we realize that doing nothing to those in need is actually doing harm to them, as well as inflicting lasting damage on our eternal future. The sin of omission can actually bring us down to eternal condemnation, as well as we have heard in today's parable. When we read in the Gospel of St. Matthew, chapter 25, about the last judgment, we see that the question is not about the sins we have committed. Rather, the question is about the good things we should have done. Did we feed the hungry? Did we give drink to the thirsty? Clothing to the naked? And welcome to strangers? As we have clearly heard in the Gospel, the rich man did not attend to the needs of Lazarus at his gate. He was enslaved to material comfort and pleasure, and he chose to ignore Lazarus, the poor man. This, my dear brothers and sisters, happen in our societies today, where the corrupt politicians accumulate wealth to themselves for their own self-interest and neglecting those who put them in those positions. The rich man, after his death, pleads with Father Abraham to send Lazarus to his father's house so that his brothers do not find themselves in that place of torments. He goes on to insist that if one would rise from the dead, his brothers will be convinced. But Abraham tells him that if they will not listen to Moses and the prophets and the priests, neither will they be persuaded if someone should rise from the dead. Dear brothers and sisters, what we have to know is that death is a reality in our life. When we die, we stand no chance for conversion. This is a strong warning Jesus is telling us in this gospel of today. Many are times that we take life for granted. But today we are being reminded that the life we have now is an opportunity for preparation for life eternal. This life gives us all the chances and the graces for conversion and spiritual maturity. For when our life in this world is over and all these chances are gone, there is no way we can undo the final sentence. Therefore, let us use every opportunity that comes on our way to do good works and grow in holiness. The question we have to ask ourselves today: are we attached to wealth? How do we handle the riches given to us by God? Are we not responsible for the sufferings of many, especially of hunger in this world? Let us therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, care for each other, especially for the poor, and be generous to our brothers and sisters who are in most need. God bless you all, and I wish you a blessed Sunday.